Circus cat.
Yep, we got a circus. Come on, hey.
And that is Cole.
Back over here.
Cole is extremely curious.
Yes. Hey,
That's funny.
she's good. Not knowing what I was going to go down with her, all the trips to Baltimore have been very expensive. We had that payment, and it was just about to the point I'm just like, I don't know what we're going to do. Trying to downsize a little bit to make things a little bit easier moving forward with the major stuff we have going on. Hey everyone, welcome back to Grounds Friendly Farm. A lot of y'all were probably thinking, what in the world is going on over there when y'all saw our thumbnail and title for today's video? Well, we're going to get into that a little bit later, but I just want to show you we are 1 week post Snowmageddon or whatever everybody's calling it, and we still have all of this mess. I mean, this junk fell or started falling 1 week ago today, and we still have so much. Driveway is still a mess. I kind of tried to work on it some. Our roads still have ice and stuff on them. A lot of the state highways and stuff are cleared now, but the animals are still out here. They're making it. The cows have finally ate their hay bale down. Well, it kind of fell through. They still had some yesterday whenever I saw in the afternoon. I guess when it got low, it fell through, and so we're going to put them another bale out, but we're just going to go around and show you that. And we've got a couple of changes and some questions we have for you that we hope y'all can help us with. And then we're going to get into what exactly is going on here, because we've not really been keeping a secret, but we just didn't want to share anything until it was final, and it is now. So we're ready to share it with you and let you know what's going on here at the farm and what our future plans are. Okay, so the girls and I made a run to the feed store earlier because we are changing up some of the feed once again, which we're going to tell you about in a minute and explain why. But they were completely out of the cattle cubes and said they wouldn't get a shipment until next week. I guess these bad roads have really affected everybody, which today is the first day that we've really been out off the farm other than work. And so figured it was a good day, but then like I said, they didn't have a lot of what we were needing. So we're just making do for now. But the cattle cubes, the cows really seem to enjoy them, and I think it's helping them a lot because this feed is like 14% and the cattle cubes are 20%. So we've been doing like half and half, a bucket of each, and they've also had hay and stuff, and it's just been working out really well. So I think we're going to keep doing that. They are a little more expensive than this, but since we're cutting it down in half, it's really not that big of an expense, and as good as it's doing for them, I think we want to keep doing that. The other thing is we had some plans to take some of the animals to the sale. We're trying to downsize a little bit to make things a little bit easier moving forward with the major stuff we have going on. And last week it was canceled. It shows they're going to have a sale tomorrow, but those roads are still terrible, so I'm afraid that the buyers and stuff won't be able to get there as easily, or they may not try to chance it. And I don't want to just give the stuff away, so we're going to hold off until their sale in February. And we'll share a little bit later what all animals are going to go. That'll probably be in a future video because we're trying to figure out exactly who all needs to go and what we're going to do with them. But let's get these girls fed, and I'll come back and put some hay later, and then we're going to move on around and show you some other stuff going on.
And as you can probably tell from him slipping and sliding, just trying to scoop out feed, some of this is still extremely slick. So
yeah, it started getting better because we had a couple warm days, because you can see some of the grass actually starting to show, or ground.
Yeah. But
then we had a real cold freeze last night, and so everything that had melted turned back to ice, and it just made it where it's just so much harder to get around. And today we're in the 30s. I wish we could get a couple of warm days, like really warm days, and just get this stuff gone. I know after that the ground's going to be just destroyed, but oh, what are you doing, Cat? Were you trying to jump through a hoop like a lion?
That's the funniest thing ever.
Here, see. Hey, you stand over.
Circus cat.
Yep, we got a circus. Come on, hey.
And that is Cole.
Back over here.
Cole is extremely curious.
Yes. Hey,
That's funny.
She's good at that. Which that's going to be another thing too, is we're going to have to, when the roads clear up, when we can get an appointment, we're going to take them to the vet sometime and get Cole spayed. Yeah, but we don't want her to have babies.
Yep.
She's very high intelligent.
She is very intelligent. Hulky, you're next, baby. Just give it a minute. We hear you, Tubby. Tubby's got the most pitiful little moo whenever he's wanting something.
Y'all get back. Y'all get back. Y'all get back. Y'all get back.
are ridiculous.
Yeah, and I'm still overly impressed with these stock tank water heaters.
Yes.
Like I said, I told my dad the other day, I was like, why in the world did we not ever have these before? And he's like, well, usually it was just a day or two of freezing, not something solid like this. But I'm like, I don't care what it is. I mean, this has been so nice not having to bust ice. It saved so much time and effort. Like I said, I did have to bust up Hulk's and then dump his out and redo it, which you can kind of see the frozen chunk over there that I had to get. Because that's one thing about it. If you just bust the ice and don't get the ice out, then it refreezes a lot quicker and then they run out of water. And so we probably busted through it 2 days and then I dumped it out and refilled it, and then it's just worked out ever since. But all the big tanks had heaters in them and we never had to worry about them freezing at all.
Yeah, that's been the best thing ever.
Here, let me scoop this up and then I'll throw it in because I got to get it in that pan before he gets over there. You can put the lid back on if you want.
Hulk, you have made a mess.
Well, this ground after a snow is always trash after it's frozen, frozen and thawed. And so I figure when all this goes, this whole front yard is just going to be a muddy, trashy mess until the grass starts back.
Yeah.
But we were really dry and really needed the moisture, but I just wish we'd got it in some other form than this.
Yeah, but look at this pretty grass that's coming up underneath. It is really nice and green.
He's rolling all in that and against the fence. Yeah. Might have been why he busted out. You better watch out, Cole. He may have some kitten on a stick.
They go in there with him all the time, though. It's crazy.
Okay. So as you can see, Penelope is still fat as ever and still hasn't had a baby. But maybe soon. You never know.
Yeah, we thought she was giving up all the signs like it was imminent, but...
Yeah, she's still fat, though.
Yeah.
Careful, Abs, you're going to fall, girl.
Yeah, she keeps worrying me.
I am so ready for all this mess to be gone, and I know these animals are too. But we're going to need some warmer days than this, which I think there's some coming. They said we should be on a warming trend soon.
Yes.
But, I don't know, it's miserable right now.
Yeah, can't come soon enough.
Nope.
Okay. Hey, babies.
Got these guys fed.
Yeah, definitely, even though there's still snow and ice and all that, it has not stopped them from going all around, so.
Nope, and they still got plenty of hay over there.
Yeah.
Which they've been bedding down inside the house and just under the hay bale, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good mix.
Yep. Okay.
Go feed the goats.
Instead of footprints in the sand, it's footprints in the snow.
That's cool.
Are you kidding me? They just flipped over his bowl.
Oh, goodness, guys. Really?
There. Y'all get distracted. I've got to get that other thing fixed so they don't jump up in there.
Yeah. Well, they've been doing so much better the days I was feeding when you were working. They weren't really getting up in it too much, and...
Abs, you want to go in there and flip Blizzard's feed pan over? Rascal's distracted.
Oh, my word. Rose's bag is getting tighter.
Yeah, I know. I saw that across the way earlier.
She'll be having to be separated soon. May have to take a companion with her, though.
I don't really like the way that is because it makes it hard to dump in from here.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
The only thing I know is maybe take off the board on this side.
Yeah.
And that would open it up a little easier. Mm-hmm. Now I guess I could use that on that one over there, and maybe that would still keep them out of it, but I don't know. Probably they still get up in it, but
I don't know.
We'll get you some feed too, Blizzard.
You ready? Oh, I saw the funniest thing yesterday when I was feeding.
What's that?
Blizzard and Belle, the mini zebu, they were standing there side by side. She went over to him and laid her head on his back and then was like rubbing on his tail.
I see them laying out here together all the time.
Yeah, she just is like, I guess he's her protector and comforter.
Which they ate their bell down too, because it was there last night also. Still had some left.
I guess
might have been even this morning. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was whenever I went to work.
It was either last night, I remember seeing it whenever I came in, or it was whenever I left this morning to go to the feed store.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy.
Yeah.
How quick they demolished the hay bale. And y'all missed a moment. I wasn't walking in the right spots, headed over here and wound up falling again.
I've never seen somebody have so much trouble walking.
Cutting across on that hill right there, and I did not pick the smartest spot. So.
Yeah, she busted it.
Ready? Yep.
Okay, so like I said, we're changing up some feed. The main thing we're changing up is our pig feed, which we bought this. It is a Meat Maker pig and sow feed, which is 16% protein and 3% or 3.5% fat, and then 10% fiber. The stuff we were buying was from Tractor Supply, and it was a show pig feed, and it was $20-something a bag, and this is a little bit less. I think that was 18% protein, but they say that everybody likes this and it works really well, and it is only $13 a bag, so we're saving a bunch of money. Yeah, because that's the thing, is that the original feed we were feeding just was not cutting it. Like I said, it's good for maintaining, but whenever something's trying to grow, it's not the best.
Yep.
So with this, hopefully, everybody will keep putting on some weight. And all that good stuff.
Yep.
Which not all this is going to fit in their feeders. Yeah, the back of my truck was full of ice too this morning.
That's a lot more melted than it was.
Boy, look at you. I busted it all out.
Oh, okay.
Threw it out this morning.
I was impressed. I was like, how in the world?
No, it was. I got up there and stomped on it, broke it up, and kicked most of it out. Okay, and we're also possibly gonna change up our chicken feed. I've been talking to Pal Feed, and they're the ones who make this, and it's a little bit higher than Tractor Supply, but not a lot. But the problem we've been having is a lot of the yolks on our eggs are not as deep yellow as we'd like them to be. Some of them's kind of pale, and I got to looking, and it said like if a feed uses like a lot of white corn or something like that in it instead of yellow corn and other things, it can happen. So I don't know if it's just the feed or what the deal is, but this is supposed to be full of probiotics and all the other junk and stuff they need. So I wanted to try a bag and see how that worked out, and then I just bought them a bag of scratch too to give them something to mess around with.
Mm-hmm.
But if this works out, I got this at the local place, but it was quite a bit more expensive than if I get it directly from Pal Feed, but they're 2.5 hours away. So if I go get it, I'll have to get like a pallet at a time, and we still have a bunch from the stuff we ordered from Tractor Supply. So I wanted to try a bag and see if I could tell any difference, and if so, then we'll probably be making a trip up there to buy a pallet at a time. We're gonna go ahead and just unload this into the tractor. Go put, that's good.
Oh,
okay,
no.
hang on. Yeah, that may. Let me let that sit and dry for a minute.
Yeah.
Hang on. Yeah, don't mess with it just because it's sitting on that melted ice.
Yeah.
But we'll just let that sit there and dry off, and I'll come back and get it later, because we're just going to put that in the trailer for now. Because I have to put out some oyster shells and then some of that. That way they'll have all that put out. But I need to get a bowl put together for them to have that, because they have their big feeder that all the other feeds in. But we're going to go out there and feed the pigs real quick, and then we're going to get into what everybody's been wanting to know. Oh, they look excited.
They're funny.
Oh man, that is nasty.
Their pen is nasty right now with
Yeah.
this melted snow. They're not complaining though. They love this stuff.
Hang on, I'm going to use this to step in, I think. It's broke, so it's not going to
Yeah.
hurt anything. No, y'all get back. Y'all get back. Y'all got feed.
That's not feed, guys.
Because your feet are still full. I just don't want to be knee deep in mud.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you
y'all
would
are
be.
messy. Oh, yeah, they got a little bit left.
But not a ton.
No, it'll probably only hold. Did it hold 4 bags last time?
I
Get back.
think
No,
so.
don't come here with me. This is my spot.
You want to go get them some grass over there or something? 'Cause-
They are definitely getting bigger, though.
yeah,
I can tell a huge difference.
babies. She can finally get to the grass now, so maybe she can keep them occupied long enough to not splash mud all over us.
We'll see. I don't know
Knife would've
which-
come in handy.
Well, they're supposed to be easy undo if I can find it. I just had to figure out which one was the right
Yeah.
theme. Yes. Yeah, it doesn't smell real sweet like that other stuff.
Hopefully they'll still like it just as well though.
I figured. Okay, I just didn't like the smell of that other stuff because it smelled so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was, but I just did not care for it at all.
We did have a couple people ask, are they going to get a bigger pen? And eventually, yes, they will. Which I know we've talked about that before, but just wanted to readdress that this is not 100% permanent, but they don't really need a ton of space anyway.
No, a
So-
lot of people raise pigs just in little confined spaces like their whole life till they butcher them, which we do not do that. But the only pen we really have right now that would hold them, that would be bigger, is either over there with Hulk or in with the goats, because where the Hulk and Betty had tore up the other fence along with some cows and stuff, they could get out of that real easily, and we don't need pigs running all over the place. So
Yeah.
and then with all this snow and stuff, it's really hard to do much of anything.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, we just don't really want to do a whole lot of temporary pens or infrastructure right now. Okay. Yeah, I think it'll hold one more bag. But that got a little bit wet. Soaked in from the truck.
Oh. Maybe it'll go ahead and dry out though.
Do what?
Maybe it'll dry out pretty quick though.
I'm sure.
Let's see if it'll hold this last bag.
I think so. Okay.
Hi, Peggy. Wagging those little tails.
Yep.
Yeah, they realize they like scratches too. Haven't you, girls?
Do what?
Peggy was gotten to where she enjoys scratches now.
Oh, yeah.
Scratching behind her back, and she wanted her ears scratched.
Okay, put that back on and then see if I can get out of here without falling in the mud.
Yeah.
Okay. Nope. Out. I'm getting this back out because I don't want you tearing it up. Worse than what it is. Okay, so now that we got them taken care of, one other thing I have a question about, and I'm hoping somebody here may have some experience and have a suggestion. So I'm wanting to take this high tunnel down because I don't want to leave it here, but I'm trying to figure out how exactly I need to store it until I can get it put back up. Because I don't want to just lay it on the ground and stuff like that and end up letting it rust or mess up or anything like that. So I'm trying to figure out how I can take the bows down, leave them all put together because they were a pain to put together, and store them until I get them to a new place to put up, because like I said, it's not going to stay here, and I'm just not really sure how to do it, because the only thing I know to do, as big as it is to lay it on the ground, and I don't want to do that. Maybe I can put some pallets down and stack it on top of that, but I'm still not sure if that's the best idea. So if you have any ideas of how we can store these bows and stuff after we take this down until we can get it put back up, be sure to let us know in the comments, because like I said, took a lot of work to put all those bows together, and I don't really want to have to do it again just to move it when I can hopefully take the purlins down, the bows off, and then pull the post and then just put it all back in the ground and not have to rebuild the whole thing. But that may not work either, but that's going to be the plan. So if you have an idea, let us know, and we're fixing to take you in here and let you know what's really going on and what we've been keeping from y'all. Okay, so y'all may be wondering, what in the world are y'all doing selling the farm? Well, it's not the farm that we've sold. We've got a lot of new people here that may not know, but we owned a property known as the daycare property. Several years ago, back in 2020, when everything shut down, our kids needed daycare to stay in. It closed, so we decided to go out on a limb and purchased a daycare, and we had it for a few years. Things got bad. Kimberly started getting a lot worse. We didn't really know what was going on at the time with her health and stuff, and so we ended up closing down. And as y'all know, we have owned it ever since. We tried leasing it out and things like that, but the person we leased it to ripped us off on rent because we were a little too
nice.
Kind-hearted, I guess, because
yeah,
she was trying to get it going. We knew that it could work because, I mean, we had it for a few years and everything was working great. And so she was having trouble making payroll and stuff. So I was like, hey, just hold off on rent, get your people paid. And then we'd set up a thing where she's supposed to pay like half rent to get caught back up. And she just quit paying. And then next thing you know, she's like, I'm out of here. So she broke her lease way early and didn't pay rent. And then we go up in there after she leaves, and she ignores our calls and things like that. And they had broken a lot of stuff in it and left us with a mess.
Yeah.
So we had to navigate that, and that was a mess. So then it was just like, we've got to sell it because we can't keep making payments on it, and leasing it after that, I was just scared to lease to anybody else, which we didn't really have a whole lot of interest because we're in a pretty small town. And so when we closed, a lot of people thought it's because maybe the business was failing or something like that, because we weren't real vocal about what all was going on at the time because we didn't have a clue, because we closed in October. It was April the next year whenever we figured out what was going on and realized Kimberly had to have brain surgery. So we had a few months there. We really didn't know what was going on. We just had closed down, and I mean, you know how small towns are. People talk, and so then they think that it's just not a good business. And so whenever she moved in and immediately shut down just a few months later, which her problem was she wasn't here to actually run it, and the people she put in place were some that we had actually fired previously for cause. And so it just wasn't a good fit, and she wasn't watching it, and she just wouldn't take the steps to do, because we're in a low income area. So state vouchers was a lot of our kids, and so if she would have got that system in place where she could have accepted that money, then she could have helped a lot of low income families around and provided care they needed where they didn't have to go to other towns to try to get that care. So with that, after she closed up after that, people's just like, oh, there's no way a daycare would work here. And so that's at that point, that's when it was just like, it's not going to be done as a daycare. So we started selling off all the equipment and stuff like that to try to make payments on it, because we were still having to make payments and everything. And then it just got to the point that we're just like, this place may never sell, because it's a very unique property.
Yes.
And it's big, and that's the other thing. It's like over 6,000 square feet. And so where people, it's not right in town, it's about a mile outside of town, and so people just didn't really have a use for it. It made a great warehouse or something like that.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, you could have used it for a lot of stuff. But it just wasn't selling. We were starting to get pretty disheartened, especially whenever Kimberly started having medical stuff again, because not knowing what I was going to go down with her, all the trips to Baltimore have been very expensive. We had that payment, and it was just about to the point I'm just like, I don't know what we're going to do. And so I was like, let's make one last ditch effort to try to get this place sold. And so it was right around when everybody was doing their Black Friday sales. So I was like, let's just do a Black Friday ad for it. Be like, if you can get under contract by, I forgot what date it was, like in December.
Yeah, middle of December.
I was like, if you can get under contract by then, you can have it for this price, which it was heavily discounted because the place, it appraised for about $100,000 more than what we ended up selling it for. But it was to the point, it's like, do you try to get what it's actually worth, or do we just try to cut our losses and get out from under this payment? Because when we initially bought this property, it was pretty bad shape.
Yes.
We spent several thousands of dollars just getting it fixed up. We'd remodeled a lot, had to fix a lot of repairs, redone some floors in it. I mean, we did a lot of work on it. So the appraisal we had was at its condition before we did all this work. So it was probably actually worth a lot more than that.
Yeah.
And it's before everything went crazy with the big market boom too. And so I'm just like, at this point, I was like, we just need to focus on the short term of getting out from under a payment.
Yeah.
I was like, even if we have to go backwards a little bit, at least we know there's an end date when this problem will stop. So we put this post out because we'd had a little bit of interest, but everybody that came to look didn't seem to have money. And so that's the thing, because it's like, well, you rent to own, all that, and that's just a big mess that I did not want to get involved in. And so after we ran the ad, it was, I don't know, just a few days after Kimberly had posted it, we had somebody reached out that actually, had they looked at it before, or had they just talked to you
They had talked to me about it, and then they actually came and looked while you were working. I kind of showed them around a little bit, and they were interested, but I couldn't tell if they were, hot or cold about it. And they'd asked about the rent to own thing, and I said, no, not right now. We're not considering that.
It wasn't our preference. Now,
But
push come to shove, we might have had to consider it.
But it was like, I couldn't tell if that was a okay thing or not. And they said that they would talk about it and they'd get back to me. And I was like, okay, well,
Crickets.
I mean, you never know. Yeah. And over a week went by. And then I was like, you know what? What if I just send her a message and be like, hey, I don't know if you've seen this ad or not, but this is what we currently have it listed for a short time.
Because at the point they looked at it, it was it was a lot higher than what it was for that. And so it's the thing where you're like about to be like, if they are interested, are you messing up by doing this or not? But like I said, at that point, I didn't care. I didn't care if they were getting a good deal. And I just like, we've got to get this done, especially since we don't really know what all she's going to be undertaking, because it was just like, what's going to happen when we go to Baltimore, and are you going to be out of work and all that? And so I was just like, I just don't know how we're going to make it if we don't do this. So I was like, even if we could have gotten more for it by not doing that, I was like, I don't care. I just want it gone.
Absolutely.
So she reached out and
she told me, she said, I've actually been talking to the bank. And I was like, really? And she said, yeah. She's like, I should have an answer on, if we can get pre-approval, like by the next week. And I was like, oh, wow. I mean, I'm like, okay, this completely opens the door and changes things. And you try not to get too optimistic because, everything we've been through with it before, oh, maybe this will happen, oh, the lease, all these different things that have been like we got our hopes up and then kind of crushed them. So we're like, okay, well, we just need to go in the mindset, we don't know. We still don't know. It may not happen. And it actually took a few extra days for them to get back to her.
Yes.
And so we were like on pins and needles, like, is this actually going to happen? Is it not? And then we're trying not to be pessimistic, but like, it's probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. Just so we're not like...
The whole time. Because it seems like if we have any luck at all, a lot of times it's bad luck.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that. Like I said, sometimes, I mean, we hit it good, but for the most part, if there's some way for something to go wrong, we find it.
Yeah.
And it was like it was the last day that it was going to be at that discounted price. And they're like, hey, we need to get together and do a contract on it.
Yeah.
So we got together with them, got it filled out, got it sent to the bank. We had hoped to close before the end of the year just because for tax stuff, that would have been the easiest thing to go ahead and wipe it out. But with everything that was going on, it just wouldn't work out. And then we ended up being out of state.
Yes, that was during the Baltimore trip.
Yes. So it ended up happening when we got back from Baltimore. And we finally closed.
Well, guys, today is the day. If you look at this room, we're in the daycare building. But guess what? We've been keeping a little secret because today is the day we sign papers and this place is no longer ours. It's definitely an answer to a prayer. A really great family is buying it and we're really excited for them and for us for sure, because it's been a long road for us to try to sell this place. And finally, somebody has taken it. And yeah, so just gonna be able to focus on the farm, focus on family, health, all that good stuff, and not have to worry about this.
So I will say this, we did have to take a loss on it, which, like I said, I was fine with because I just knew that we were paying, we had the mortgage payment itself, then you had to pay for electricity, water, insurance, and all that stuff was adding up. And it was a lot monthly to have to try to eat. And like I said, we were to the point I just didn't know. The only way we were floating by is from some of the stuff we had sold from it. We was able to use that to go toward payments to keep us going, but we were at the end of our rope on that one. But it worked out. So I will say this, even though we had to take a loss on it, I will say in the long run, we were actually blessed by the property because it gave us a place for our kids to go where we knew they were safe and everything. It allowed Kimberly to actually quit her job initially, and she was out there full time, but it gave us the freedom to do stuff as we need to do it and everything. And then once we had to close that down, she actually just went back to work part-time.
Yes.
And so it's allowed us to do that and allowed us to homeschool our kids. And had we not had that, we were able to pretty much set ourselves up a little better financially so that we were able to do all this other stuff. So even though we took a loss along, I still say it's a win.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I don't know, because we would have had to put our kids in daycare if you were still working. And had you not ever quit full time, I don't know
that we would have thought we could do it.
I mean, with your health, I don't know how we wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But at the time, I couldn't see a path where to do it because it was very nerve-wracking. I'll tell you that. Because anytime you're your own boss, it's very nerve-wracking for the simple fact, especially if you've been working for very long, having those paychecks coming in every 2 weeks, that becomes a crutch. And when you know that may not happen, it's scary.
Yeah.
And so initially she was just like, she just did not, she's kind of leery about it. I was like, we'll figure out a way. I was like, one way or another, we will make it work because we always do.
Yeah.
And so she went out there full time. Like I said, it allowed her to do that. And then she'd still pick up a little bit of PR in here and there whenever they need help filling in. And that's what helped her keep the door open with her old job. And that's actually where she went back. Yes. But instead of working full time, she's only working 2.5 days a week. Yeah. So that allows us for that. But
yeah. And I mean, me being out there, I was able to, build up enrollment and do all the things that I needed to. But then where the health came into play with all that was I was having to, go to more frequent doctor's visit. I was having to, try different medications and more and more and more, and things weren't working. And it was just the stress of everything compounded all of my issues.
Stress was a trigger for all of her stuff. Yes. And then plus being out there with little kids stuff, having to pick them up you really didn't need to be lifting and stuff like that. And so
but it was just stop.
Just overall it just was not a good fit. And I was just like, we can't let you keep getting worse, especially when we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And then like I said, she had the surgery, and all y'all that's been following us realized that hasn't been all butterflies and rainbows. Yeah. I was trying to think of what term I wanted to use for that. But now we're back to trying to figure out what's going on with her. Like I said, right now she's still been able to work, but luckily her work's been working with her and lightening the load a little bit.
Yeah, and we're still waiting on answers on that after our most recent trip. It's been a long waiting game this time.
We're still waiting on a call back from the doctor who did the last test because they still haven't called.
I've called them multiple times too, so been getting a little irritated about that, but hopefully we'll have some news of some sort soon. That's my hope.
And then we can try to figure out what's going on after that. So like I said, for those of y'all who are worried that we were selling the farm or something like that, it's nothing like that. No. The high tunnel, we are going to move it though from this location. That's like legit. It's just that where it's at, the wind kept taking the top off, and it's just not working out here. And so I have some other ideas for that area, but I've got to figure out how to store that high tunnel so it doesn't get messed up before I even consider doing the other. And like I said, I've thought about maybe laying out pallets to stack it on or something, but I'm trying to think of the best idea. So if y'all got anything good for that, I would truly appreciate it.
Yep.
And for all of y'all who've been sending prayers and all the thoughts and stuff, we really appreciate that. Many of y'all have been praying for our health and are thinking about us, and then for the daycare stuff and everything. So like I said, God has a plan. You just got to wait till it's the right time. And
That's the truth.
like I said, it all works out in the long run. I mean, one way or another, things will work out. We just got to keep pushing forward. But
Yep.
I think that's probably where we're going to end this one. Hopefully all this ice and junk goes away,
I hope.
so that we can actually start getting back started on projects and show
Normal
y'all some
routines.
stuff there, because it's been rough being stuck inside and
Yeah.
or having to ice skate everywhere. And so you can't, it's not really feasible to try to build anything, do anything,
No.
because we've got fences we need to build, we've got some structures we need to build, tons of stuff, but we just need some better weather. And like I said, whenever all this mess melts, it's probably going to be a muddy mess, so that may delay us a little bit too, but eventually we'll get things back going.
Yeah.
Soon it'll be time to do stuff in the greenhouse and get everything started, so we'll bring you along for
Yes.
that. And we've got some ideas for some new stuff in here that we've never tried before, that we're going to bring you along with us, and we'll see how it goes, because I'm super excited about it, because I've studied up on it and we've talked about it before, but we've never tried it, and we're going to. I bought most of the stuff I need for it, so it's just a matter of getting it built now. But we'll bring you along for that. We truly appreciate all y'all's love and support, and thank y'all for watching, and be sure to share, like, and subscribe all of our videos, and help us grow our channel to share our lives and everything we're doing with more people. But we'll catch you next time at Grounds Family Farm. Bye.
Bye, guys.